Worst games you've ever played. 5th edition. Join a homebrew game, finally feel like playing an evil, selfish character for once, because been playing neutral good and lawful neutrals in all my past games. Be me. Neutral evil young rogue from a small mob family in a criminal district of the capital city, looking to enrich family in any way possible, and decides he wants to sucker the good party members to achieve his goal. Goal is to be the guy doing underhanded shit behind his party's back, but only to their benefit. Be not me. Lawful good light cleric, the chosen one of whatever the DM's goddess of light and justice, a neutral good warlock hexblade adventurer who just wants to do the right thing. Chaotic good lizardman sorcerer on a quest to become a stronger caster. Cool, they're all good characters. This will be an interesting challenge for my evil rogue to skirt around, right? First session, everyone meets each other in a festival. We all become friends, yada yada. Suddenly bandits attack. Initiative roll and decide this is the perfect opportunity for my rogue to pretend to be a good guy. Defend the people! I scream as I charge in to stab bandit attacking townsfolk. Party gives 2 shits about townsfolk. Charge in to kill bandit leader, making fun of him, joking around with each other about who's going to get the kill. NPC townfolk meanwhile getting gacked, and I'm the only one helping them, thankfully with sneak attack. 1 remaining bandit surrender after leader gets gacked. I'm sorry, I'm poor. I didn't have a choice. I have a girl to defeat, lizardman. Shut the fuck up. Game continues on. Party hits the road. Run into a group of hobgoblins and goblin soldiers having a battle. Party immediately assumes they're evil. Hobgoblin. Excuse me, but please halt. We're hunting a dangerous prey. No, you're the prey. No, you.
No, you.
Party shoots first. Fight ensues. Me. I don't think they're evil guys. Oh well, fight's happening. Slaughter the hobgoblins and goblins. Come across a dead wyvern.
I mean, why bother picking goblins if they're not like
evil? If
they're not evil and they're not like cannon
or
fodder.
If they're at least not assholes.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have to be evil, but like, we all know goblins are assholes.
They're not like evil, they're more just chaotic and get themselves into bad... Worst gone place a long time of release every time.
Me. Yeah, okay, DM. So goblins aren't 100% evil in your world, right? DM. Yeah. Basically figure out from their emblems that they're part of somewhat famous mercenary band, and that we might become an enemy of the group if they ever find out we did this. Hexblade shrugs. We couldn't have known. They're a monster race. Me. Isn't our lizardman sorcerer also a monster race? Long silence.
Well, I mean, look, they're a wee bit different.
Yeah. Party's wand of magic missile gets stolen. Party gets enraged. Track the item through that one find item spell. In a tavern. We see our target. When we confront him, he slides away into the crowd and we see him change forms to a female. Basically a shapeshifter. Party demanding items return. Shapeshifter is crying and pretending to be a woman in distress. Tavern folk giving us dirty looks and tell us to leave her alone. Finally, after some argument, a few people with weapons stand up. They tell us to leave, and a successful perception tells us based on the markings of their weapon, the people who just stood up are in league with each other. Cleric. I cast Fastball. Fireball. Fastball.
Fire. I'm keeping that in, Megan. Fastball? The fuck is this? Dodgeball? Fastball?
Like I'm sleep deprived.
Alright, okay. Let's keep going.
You absolute fucking retard.
I don't know if that's in the story or to
directed
us.
Towards me.
Yeah.
Tavern explodes, fire is started, all innocent people are basically vaporized. We fight the shapeshifters and win. DM tells us we hear guards coming. Me. I dash through the back entrance, if there is any, and run the fuck away. Party. We don't. Me. What?
What's that noise? You know the Tim Allen sound effect?
Cleric. I am a chosen one of the light of the goddess. We simply explain. They get told to drop their weapons and they comply. They get taken to warden. Explain their situation. You're going to jail. What the fuck? Really? I'm the chosen of light goddess. We don't care, you killed 24 innocent people. Lizardman says fuck that and tries to fight. Party supports him. They get overpowered and killed on the spot by elite guards. After session. I don't know what we did wrong. Not fair, DM, those guards were too powerful. I don't want to continue anymore. I was really invested in my character. Game ends. That's why you don't play with fucking...
Honestly though.
Cabbages? Like,
yeah, okay, the Lizardman is a cabbage. There's no argument there. However, I hate to admit it, it does make sense for a Lizardman to have absolute zero sense of self-awareness or human interaction or anything going on. I hate to admit it, but this may just be what my character would do, guys. Seriously. Unironically, though. Unironically.
I've had a similar experience. One in the opposite direction, actually, where the paladin player refused to enter Necromancer Dungeon without a warrant because it would violate NAP. It was very funny until we realised the player wasn't doing a bit. The worst offender really was this guy in my high school friend circle, who kept showing up but obviously didn't actually enjoy tabletop games. He simply didn't want to be left out. He plays Civ on his laptop when not in combat, would not even name his character, and the only time he did try to roleplay, it was an amnesiac elf wizard teleported from Edo, Japan.
Weeb! Weeb! We need a weeb siren. We need a weeb! What noises do you...
Weeaboo! Weeaboo!
Yeah, that's what we need. We need a siren. We need a sound effect for this.
And then proceed to slaughter villages or attempt PK for shits and giggles. Another guy in the group would constantly make meme characters. Like a Frenchman, he always surrenders.
Word base? That sounds like the best character idea I've ever heard.
And then tire of them mid-session. But both of these was of course more of a background than a single bad game. It's honestly a tie between two different games I had, with two very different versions of worst. First time was when I found a group of grognards online, though we played IRL. He went batshit over me making a black character and call him the N-word, somehow much weirder than just using the N-word. Yeah. For the entire game while constantly trying to cheese and argue about the minute of rules. Didn't show up for the second session, obviously.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
The other time was a bit of the opposite. An online game where a teenage player showed up to the Vampire the Masquerade with an actual trench coat and dual katana.
Beast, Megan, beast.
Anarch, who just outright told the rest of us they were here to kill the prince and then proceeded to openly break the masquerade by drinking some suicidal guy's blood in the middle of a Christmas market. After that somewhat hasty end to that session, the players seemed genuinely confused what they had done wrong and assured that they knew all about Vampire the Masquerade and had actually played several campaigns before, as Sabbath.
Honestly, I don't think that's it. It's Vampire the Masquerade, guys. Yeah. I mean, get over your fucking self.
Well, I don't know that much about Vampire the Masquerade. This might be absolute heresy, so I don't know.
Look, all I know from Vampire the Masquerade is it's a fucking train wreck. Like, don't get me wrong. If we're doing a story about Vampire the Masquerade, it's hyper edge, hyper cringe.
Yeah.
It's always like that. So I don't like...
It's always good content.
It's always great. So I've personally never played it. I've never got the chance. I would actually like to give it a go, if to be honest with you, because like it makes me feel like I just like in park and shit and like not feel bad. Honestly, I don't like in my eyes he did nothing wrong.
No.
Pure cringe, but you gotta embrace it sometimes.
We show up to your 4th edition game. Though, look, that's your problem. Right there. 4th edition. That's your problem. That's the premise of the story. Don't need to read anymore. Let's go to the next post. Joking. We show up to your 4th edition game. Everyone but the DM's girlfriend playing leaders of some sort because we forgot to coordinate what we were playing. Laughs had. We show up to stop some ritual the DM doesn't really elaborate on. It's just bad, okay?
Okay.
This isn't. This was like September.
Do you not like South Park references, guys?
We kill the cultists, their leader, and his dragons show up. Both have such high damage that they almost instantly kill our tankiest player. Then the ritual we stopped goes off somehow and we get sucked into a vortex where we end up in some lava-filled ruins. We're separated by a magic barrier, nothing can pass through. Each side fights a bunch of elites, plus a solo monster, all skilled for our level 7, and each side has a full party encounter. Every time we deal damage to an elite, they immediately suicide themselves into the lava, kill themselves, and another enemy on the other side, explode and deal a bunch of damage to us, then send some magic into ashes. This is like word soup.
I know. We're far in. Let's keep going.
One of the solos, a lich, knocks out a player, then tosses a smoke screen over him so we can't see him to heal him. Then the knight solo throws lava through the barrier to finish him off. We check with the DM who previously established nothing can pass through the barriers. He claims any attack with the hurl keyword can pass the barrier. For people that haven't played 4th edition, the hurl keyword is not a thing that actually exists. The Lich eventually flees and the DM PC.
Oh,
the DM had tagging along with us goes after him. We fight the knight as all the other enemies immediately start suiciding into the lava and send magic into the ashes. No amount of knowledge checks tells us what the fuck is going on, or why they were doing this, or what's so important about the ashes. We finally beat the knight to death. As he's dying, he fully restores our health, encounter, and daily powers because... The ashes finally reveal their importance as a chaotic evil phoenix rises and attacks us. Stat scale so high we can literally only hit it with anything on a nat 20. After a while, we somehow manage to kill it once before it does the usual ash resurrection. Suddenly, we can't move. The Lich comes back and has us trapped in a gravity field of some sort. No save to resist it. The phoenix is also trapped. He laughs at us and says bringing the phoenix back to life was part of his plan. To do what or why he doesn't elaborate on. Then he collapses the gravity field, instantly killing us and the phoenix. Again, no save. DM declares we lost. We tell the DM he's never allowed to run anything ever again.
Unironically, it sounds a bit like...
It sounds like I would come away from that session with a massive headache.
Yeah. Honestly, with the Phoenix, I don't know why, but the chaotic evil Phoenix, it just sounds like a Sonic villain.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm getting Sonic villain vibes. It sounds like a plot either from a JRPG, like Final Fantasy-esque.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like them coming in waves and shit, and it's like, oh no, you're stuck there. I don't know. It kind of gives me that feel, vibe.
Yeah.
Honestly, not the worst. It just sounds like a pain in the absolute dick of a session.
Yeah.
Not.
I would definitely need painkillers after.
Yeah.
Hey guys, do you like models in your tabletop role-playing games? 'Cause we do too. Do you like having big bitty waifus on your table? 'Cause we do too. We got human biddies, we got lizard biddies, we got orc biddies, oni biddies, cat bussies. We've got everything you want at neckbeardia.co.uk.
Check the links down below, it helps us out a lot.
Sorry for interrupting the video, let's get on with the story. I have 2 stories. These were from the time I first got into the hobby. Run Stars Without Numbers. Have 2 players who are both IRL friends of mine. One of them insists we play D&D 5th edition instead. I refuse because I played that enough and there are many other cool games around. Anyway, eventually we play Stars Without Numbers. Player that wanted to play D&D calls the game shit and is going to prove that by breaking the game, by making an overpowered adept.
Wait, I don't get the fanboys for D&D. Don't get me wrong, like the game's fine. I don't think it's as bad as what people make it out to be, but
it's fine.
That's exactly what it is. It's just fine.
Yeah, expand your horizons, boys.
Yeah.
Whatever, we'll see what happens. The players need information from a gang boss who is willing to help them if they help him first. Rival gang put a very addictive drug in the streets, which he wants gone. They find the rival gang and raid its compound. I have planned a cool shootout between them and the rival gang's boss and his underlings. That player interrupts during the gang's boss monologue, where he offers them money to work for him instead, blinks over to him, and then shoots him in the head at point blank range. Well, alright then. He later causes a shootout in the mall while chasing a guy they needed to capture. Security corners him on the roof and kills him. Leave it at that, and run a one-man GURPS campaign for the other player instead.
Yeah, what else can you do at that point?
The GURPS campaign is set in a homebrew Conan-esque setting where the humans are the only playable race.
Beast.
I add all the common fantasy races like dwarves and elves like they were known in their mythologies.
I'm keeping that in, Megan. You're just gonna have to live with it.
Eventually the D&D loving player catches wind of this campaign and wants to join. I explain the setting to him and he calls it boring that elves, dwarves, giants, etc. are all NPC races. Anyway, he makes my version of the Norsemen. Players are tasked with stealing a relic from the nobleman's mansion. The D&D loving player tries to sneak in together with the other PC, which is far more sneakier. He gets found out and eventually dies in a battle with the guardsman of the nobleman. He quits afterward. The game dies, and I never play with either of them again. Oh.
Honestly, not the worst. It just sounds like, again, it sounds like a bit of a pain in the
It
neck.
just sounds, you know what? It just sounds like a little bit of a bitch. Not
Yeah,
gonna
a wee bit. Not the worst though.
lie.
Definitely
No, it just
not the
sounds like
worst.
a bit of a moony bitch.
Yeah, bit too much mooning. I've came across this with a load of boys. Like, see if you all you'd want to do is just garn and complain and piss and moan all the time.
Fuck off.
It's look, no, I'm not. I can't.
No.
There's only so
This
much.
is my free time that I get to enjoy a game.
Look,
and I don't want to hear about your bitch.
I feel like since we got a child now, I feel a lot more.
My time is precious.
Yeah, I value it a lot more than what I
Yes.
did before, and I feel like wasting it on shite.
Or shitty people.
I just don't have the. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just don't have the what's the right word? Patience.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
have.
I just
Well, I
don't-
didn't have the patience for people to begin with, but that's neither here nor there.
I don't know. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt a lot of the time, but sometimes you just can't help it.
Yeah. 5th edition. Almost all my friends are into D&D, but group roleplay has never especially appealed to me. Decide to try it anyway. Roll up a half-elf wizard rogue. Arcane trickster, I think. Local store has a weekly D&D game. Bring this new sheet, but I'm largely unfamiliar with the rules. Store owner promises it's a new player-friendly game. Okay. Come in. DM says it's great, I'm a half-elf. The current campaign needs diplomacy with elves. This is great. My character is intended to be the very loud braggart who isn't quite as good as he seems. Session starts. I'm given very little context on who the rest of the party is, so I make a lie that the ship we're on is mine. Oh, apparently it's one of the players, who is a long-time privateer. Great. Get into the session. Apparently the privateer also has a cursed sword that talks to him in his mind. Goal of the mission is to stop an all-out war from breaking out between a rioting human village and a nearby elf encampment. I'm sent to go talk to the elves. Roll decently, but the DM just keeps having these elves say, nah. Meanwhile, in the human village, half an hour of the pirate captain basically getting heralded as a voice of residential god, as he's talking them down from inspiring them all. After this, there's a 45-minute battle of wills in the pirate captain's mind as his sword tries to take him over, and the other party members, a monk or something, has an ability to telepathically communicate, letting him help the other guy in his battle of wills with his cursed sword. This leaves my character entirely out of both conversations, while the two special snowflakes have these very special conversations.
It's not like Snowflake.
No.
You've only showed up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Session finally ends. I leave. Never return. I tried D&D once more after that, but it was an unconfident DM, and soon after her dog died. I was not feeling super creative for months, leading to the campaign dying. All the best. I wasn't super into it.
Well, shame about the doggy.
Yeah,
Poor doggy.
but
I mean, look, okay, maybe it was the DM, maybe there was like was he just going like, nah.
Yeah.
Was there any give and take? Was there no way
I'm going to say there wasn't
Yeah, I'm going to assume the guy
for
wasn't.
them, and that's probably why they went on with the story without you. Kinda, because if you're not interjecting an awful lot.
They probably did. Also, personally, I don't really have a big problem. Like, when it comes to people split the party, you're all gonna die. I don't really care much for that. It's more just to get the game actually running, and so everyone can play at the same time. If
Yeah.
you split the party, then it devolves into two different games essentially,
Yeah,
and
and
people are
everybody
stuck.
has to talk, kinda.
Yeah, exactly. You get what I'm saying.
I once played a board game that had printed on the side of the box, "Warning, this game is highly addictive." It was without a doubt the worst board game I've ever played that actually took itself seriously as a game. It was a roll the die, move your guy sort of game that was very amateurishly designed and had lackluster art. Despite not having much in the way of player agency, it was very slow to play. And after an hour, everyone involved decided we were done. Is this Monopoly?
I'm great at Monopoly, just saying.
It's only because you get that corner board. You get that corner.
I make Megan absolutely cry, and I set up dirty deals. I work with look, a bit of diplomacy works
I
well.
was going to make a joke, but I can't.
Yeah, you can't say nothing.
I can't say nothing about nothing.
Yeah.
No one at the table had scored any points towards winning. We're all losers. Worse yet, I looked it up on BGG and found the game's designer had argued with people who dared review his masterpiece poorly, even several years after the game's publication.
Oh, you have to wonder about those types. You know, don't get me wrong, I get it. People do pour their heart and soul into these
but
sort
if
of
it's a
things.
shit game, it's a shit game.
And essentially it is. On the note of amateur game design, you guys should probably check out the Veil Lighters, Guardbros working on it.
Yes.
It's actually really good. We're playing it on Sundays, so definitely come and join us.
Halloween one-shot. DM made pre-generated characters based off horror movie tropes. That sounds fun.
I actually would be up for that.
We had a vampire, a werewolf, a mummy, and me, a slasher serial killer. Game takes place on an island where some residents are basically walking corpses. It's a Scooby-Doo in Zombie
Yes.
Island. Continuously killing themselves only to be resurrected, doing what they were doing earlier. NPCs beg us to kill them. It's all linked to some big house. My character apparently had plot relevance to this house, being unnaturally connected to it in some Lovecraftian way, but since I was a slasher serial killer, I was mute and couldn't tell anyone. I was also not told how or why I felt this attraction to it. We managed to find a way inside. DM puts on a 5-hour loop of heavy heartbeats and slow, deep breathing on the TV. It's loud.
What, do you put on some ASMR shite?
Probably. House is alive. Our exit gets blocked off by tissue. Damaging walls causes more flesh and rebar to build up. Start exploring. Spend hours painstakingly checking every room in the first floor. About 15. There's basically nothing in every room except one of the last ones we checked. We start moving to the second floor. DM plays an ear-piercing throaty shriek which sets off one of the players who's very sensitive to loud sounds and repeats for every 5 minutes. Player asks DM to lower it. He ignores her. About 10 minutes later she asks him again. He looks at her and makes it louder.
Sigma mindset, am I right, guys?
We encounter whatever was making the noise, which is essentially a massive aborted fetus looking thing with giant long arms and an umbilical cord wrapped around its neck like a noose. Interesting. We hide and wait for it to go away. Go to the projector room and find some sort of door which leads to a shopkeeper in a forest. He sells magic items worth hundreds of gold. We don't have money. Leave to go find and kill the monster thing. At this point, it's February. Ask the DM where exactly we are in game and when does the campaign end. He tells us we're at about the halfway point. They've been playing this from fucking Halloween of chapter 1 out of 9.
What?
Game dissolves itself. It just felt like a giant video game. The shopkeeper and his forest realm or whatever was supposed to be our save point where we can rest up and buy items from. As for the actual game and his handling of sound effects and stuff like that, it wasn't all too good. I felt bad for the one player who had auditory issues. There was a point where she tried slicing a wall to escape a room and it shot out corrosive blood at her and did 3/4 of her health, permanently disfiguring her. Since then I haven't let another player DM, nor has anyone asked to.
I mean, like, you know, being disfigured doesn't seem that bad. It's a horror game, you know,
Yeah,
you
it's a
kind of
horror
expect, like, you know, a lot of that type of shit.
She was either playing a vampire, a werewolf, or a mummy.
Yeah.
So, like,
you kind of have
already
a
a
mangled
monster.
face. Yeah, exactly. Honestly, not the word. I feel like the DM was just out of their depth. I feel like
I think they took on a big
task and what they thought was.
No, it sounds like it could be good.
I really want to play Call of Cthulhu at some point, but I just don't have the time. I need to wait for Ozzy to be a wee bit older before I can start one. But I really look forward to it because me and Megan are both into like spooky shit.
Yeah.
We're both edgy boys. Leave us be, okay?
Yeah.
Look. I was really into Iron Maiden as a teenager, okay?
I was really into Linkin Park.
Linkin Park and Green Day. Fucking lived off it.
Players always keep commenting on my DMing, saying that it's great and everything, and only once have I ever received negative criticism in the sense that it felt as if I were railroading the players far too much. I honestly don't know how I would have resolved it otherwise, but the gist of the situation was that one of the players had received a super magical item during character creation, which had to be given to him at one point during the game. Now, items like these are super rare in the game setting, and I had to make an entire episode revolving around that item and the player obtaining it. The players at one point wanted to run away from the horror house in which they were supposed to obtain the item, but I simply had to give the item to the player and had to railroad them into the house where the item was, away from the mob of possessed cultists waiting outside.
I don't know, see if you need to give them an item and just be like, yeah, roll me a perception. Oh, sweet, you found it in a bush.
Fell from the sky.
I fell from the sky. You know, that's what we do.
You tripped over it.
That's what we do whenever people are late to games or whatever.
Yeah.
What we did was, so-and-so just fell right out of the sky, showed up.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, no, he got sucked right back out.
Yeah.
Up you go.
Beam me up. Is there any other way I could have done this? I feel like some of my players got miffed at me for this, but I told them I had to do it, and hopefully it would be better for them during the next session, which according to all comments it was. But it still plagues me to this day that it happened and I wasn't creative enough to work around it.
That's essentially essentially it was a creativity problem.
I think you didn't handle it too bad. Like, you needed to get him this, and instead of doing what we do,
you find it in a bush.
You actually made like a story arc around it.
I don't know, if you need players to go somewhere, just like... Oh, the problem is, like, you know, you can't just be like sending tons and tons of enemies at them because they're probably just going to stand and fight because you know what they're like. Maybe give it to them in a different way. Maybe go back, retake your spot. Like, put it like this: the good thing is, at least the guy's thinking about it, and it does worry him. So therefore, it probably won't happen again, and he probably is trying to work to improve.
Yeah.
So he's not like, you know. He's not like us, at least, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is trying to do better at what he wants to do.
I played a Dark Heresy 1st edition one-shot a long time ago on SubTG. Long story short, one of the guys made a Mary Sue psyker chick. We start on some battlefield somewhere, getting briefed by a commissar. The psyker tries to physically influence the commissar.
I think he gets shot in the face.
Yep. Commissar, showing uncharacteristic restraint, says, "Don't do that, you fucking retard." Retard does it again 5 minutes later. Gets shot in the head.
I fucking called it, guys. I didn't read ahead. Alright, I'm saying that now.
Player throws a 3-hour hissy fit about it, accusing DM of hating them for no reason, etc, etc. Anyway, the GM was helpful comrade, but I felt bad for him at the time. Jesus Christ.
No, the player was looking at, and honestly, Dark Heresy, don't expect your characters to live.
Well, I'm going to say they didn't know much about 40k if they were doing that.
Yeah, there's no, they mustn't.
If you're doing that, you don't expect to get shot in the head.
Like, if you do that,
then the D&D knows fuck all. The DM knows fuck all.
I'm just saying, that's just... It just doesn't work like that, okay?
No.
Like, if you get shot in the face by
Imagine
your commissar...
going in and playing Dark Heresy and expecting...
Yeah, cringe. Imagine your character having more than one session. Holy fuck.
Both of my worst experiences were in Shadowrun. First of those, we didn't get past the Johnson meeting. It hit a snag when our challenging mage initially refused to do a milk run because it involved killing someone. They didn't have a code of honour either. Then they get into a dialogue with our furry elf infiltrator?
Why?
That was meant to imply they were splitting a cab, but came off as him planning to molest and rape her. Game died off right there.
I mean, like, you know the worst thing is furries most definitely do exist in the Shadowrun universe because of all the body augmentations.
Yeah.
Oh my god, no, actually, I've just got horrible ideas of augmented fucking ass plug tail things. No, I don't don't make this. Don't do it.
Second game instead had a mega weeaboo and his girlfriend who were invited specifically as an experiment. Experiment? We let them make their characters mostly on their own to see what they came up with occasional guidance when necessary. The girlfriend basically remade her preferred DeviantArt OC, a blind archer infiltrator adept.
Well, like, honestly, blind does kind of work in Shadowrun. I mean,
I don't know if this is Shadowrun.
No,
both, it is
Shadowrun. Yeah, you can be blind in Shadowrun and it doesn't affect you.
Which was a hell of a lot better than what the Mega Weeb made. It was an honest-to-goodness gacha game waifu character.
Also, that sounds base. What are you talking about? The guy made fucking Ricardo. What are you talking about?
Complete with DeviantArt artwork for the character's portrait. The Mega Weeb also spent all of their starting money on a katana and a machine gun filled with depleted uranium-tipped bullets. And that's it.
Wait, what else are you going to spend money on? I'm sorry, I'm agreeing with the Weeb on this one. I think you made a great choice. What else are you, like, seriously? What the fuck else are you going to spend your money on? Oh, you need to pay for, like, you know, where you live, you need to pay your rent. It's like, fuck that, I'm living in the bin, what are you talking about? I'm living in the fucking scrapyard. I'm going to be king of the tramps. I probably shouldn't be allowed to play Shadowrun.
We managed to get past the Johnson meeting this time, with little issue. Beyond the blind archer mildly embarrassing themselves on a language rule, it was the investigation portion that things went a bit sideways. Since the Megaweeb, in spite of our attempts to guide him out of character, managed to unintentionally insult and harass a babushka meant to be one of her informants, to the point she kicked the shit out of him and left them bleeding on the sidewalk. Imagine a wee Russian lady coming up beating the absolute bollocks out of you. She probably has like tins of fucking soup in her bag. Using a propeller over her head.
Yeah.
That's as far as we got for that game, as the two completely flaked on us after that. Then the game master's life got too tied up in work to revisit it. I consider myself far luckier than most if those are what I can count as some of my worst experiences, but I swear those games cursed us. All further attempts by my friends to start up another Shadowrun game never gets anywhere past planning stage since. I think that's just the time, man.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, I'm personally a fan of this Weeb and the girlfriend. I think we should play with them. I think we should arrange a double date, Megan.
Double date.
Yeah, we should have a double date. Yeah.
No.
Why not?
Because
you're not into that.
No. See, when somebody comes to the game and slaps down their DeviantArt OC artwork, I'm like,
what have I got myself into?
Like, guys, my mum needs me. Mum, can you come pick me up?
Sorry, something happened. What happened? I don't know. Don't fucking ask questions. Something happened. Look, that's where we're going to end it. I'm gonna tell a quick story slam of my work session, and it wasn't really that bad. Honestly, it was actually really mild. It was just the DM was being a passive-aggressive wee bitch. So
tell them who the DM was.
Oh no, I can't say who the DM was.
Oh wait.
No.
Oh, so this isn't Guardbros game?
No.
I thought you were calling Guardbro passive-aggressive.
No. Guardbro's cool. I love the Guardbro. Anyway, look, this was IRL. It was actually my first game IRL. And so I show up at this place to play the game, and they're running a one-shot, and the DM has got fucking neon hair. Yeah. I'm like, oh god, okay, well, let's go with it, let's have a bit of fun, let's, indulge, shall we? Anyway, got some pre-generated characters. Pre-generated characters. I went for the dwarf clerk. Look to go, let's go for it. Anyway, so we're playing along, we're all on the side of the road, we're marching along. And there's these bandits with like red bands. Was an elf, a human, and a dwarf. Anyway, things went a bit south. I don't think we were supposed to kill them, but they started attacking us. So what do you expect? So we ended up killing them. I did try and take one of them alive. The DM was insistent that my dwarf legs weren't long enough to catch him, sadly. Anyway, let's continue. So we get to the town. I decide, you know what? No, this was probably my fault. I was actually being a bit of a cunt at this point.
No, this was Jim's fault.
I was actually being a bit of a dick for the pure band. Like, I was having fun. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, so we get to the town, and we hear that, oh yeah, okay, we need to deal with a monster that lives in a cave. Sounds, reasonable enough. And I'm thinking, honestly, I'm a bit of a clerk. The townspeople people, they're a bit sad. They're not feeling the best. So I decided to start a bit of a preaching to the townspeople and let them know it's like, look, your souls will be saved. What I really wanted was I wanted to line up the townspeople and use them as cannon fodder for this. I thought it would be really great.
This is how James plays his games. Innocent people, fuck them in.
That's it. Like, I can't save your soul. Only you can save your soul. Like, I don't make up the rules. Like, talk to God, all right? Anyway, DM wasn't happy about that. We go ahead. We talk to them. We find out where to go. We get a guide. We go to the cave. We see the cave. We work out. Okay, loads of humans knocking about, or loads of townsvillagers turned to stone. Oh, guys, I wonder what the fuck that is. People been turned to stone. I bet it's not a Medusa or a fucking basilisk. Oh no. Anyway, so we then go. There was something to do about harpies, if I remember. We go see some harpies, and they just screech at us the whole time, and I really try and work with them, but all they do is like, caw, 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 caw. And I mean, this went on for like 45 minutes adventure. I was like, you know what, I don't know, my dwarven, I just can't imagine dwarves like harpies very much, anyway.
I don't imagine dwarves like anything very much.
Yeah, no, they don't really get along much. Anyway, so we give up on that. We decide, right, fuck that, scrap that. Let's just continue on. The rest of the party tries to bit of diplomacy. They just don't like us, so we just give up and leave. Anyway, we go back to town, we get some potions, we go try and deal with the basilisk. I try and sneak in with the bard and whatever else. I'm wearing chain. We fuck up. We end up getting our balls handed to us. But we do a lot of damage to the basilisk. Basilisk ends up getting into the cave. We then go into the cave. This is getting late now at this point of the day, and we should be lapping up because officially the store shuts at like 10. But this is about 11 o'clock, so they're kind of like, come on guys, let's get us out of here. Anyway, so I do a few stone checks, and I notice there's a smell of sulfur thick in the air, because this isn't just a cave, this is also used to be a mine at one stage. And I was like, but would you know what the sulfur is? Would you know? Like, yeah, of course. It's like, right, okay, that sounds cool. So we go to the back of the cave. We end up finding it. I turn around to one of the guys with the torches. I was like, do you trust me? It's like, not really. Do you trust me though? It's like, okay, just do what you're gonna do. So I take the torch off him. I fuck it down into the abyss. The whole thing blows up. 2 party members die.
Game over.
Game over. Well, no, we did kill the basilisk, and only 2 deaths. R.I.P. my bard. R.I.P. It's okay, my man. It's okay. Honestly, it was a fun game. The DM, I think he was very much annoyed with me, but I was kind of annoyed with him, so it was kind of give and take. He wasn't.
And that's called being a passive-aggressive little bitch.
But to be fair, I was being a bit of a dick myself, so I couldn't.
You?
Oh no!
Oh no!
Yeah. So like, I did. I wasn't like I was being like a team player, and I wasn't very innocent in the situation.
Not my James.
No
way.
It wasn't that bad of a fall. Like honestly, it was just. Everyone was new players. We had like 2 guys that were in like their 50s. There was like one wee fella that was in like uni. There was another fella that it was a really mixed group. Like that's all I'm saying. There was like teenagers mixed in with grognards. Mm-hmm. It was a really weird party dynamic. But like I had fun, even if it was a shit show.
But let us know down below what your worst experiences on the table are.
Oh, there was also that time. It was a Guardbros game, and we set the town on fire by accident.
Yeah.
And we end up having to leg it out of town.
Yeah.
That was actually really funny, to be honest. Look, I hope you guys enjoyed that anyway. Look,
but hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time we post a video, and check out the links down below to get the models and subclasses, all that good shit. Check out the other channel, we're doing TTS over there, go check it out, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!
All those moments will be lost in time.